we are headed up to our barn build pad and we're gonna try to line out our stalls, like pull the string on there. What is it called?
Basically, we have 14 concrete pads that are about 18 inches wide and probably a good 8 inches thick, and we need to dig holes in the ground, put some gravel down, put those concrete pads in there, because those are going to be the concrete pads that actually support our 4x4 posts for our build. And so we need to get those in the ground, get them all leveled up, and get them ready so that we can mount brackets and then attach 4x4 posts, and this project will start looking like a project. All of our turkeys are all puffed up. They're like, hey. You know, we did bring up here a shovel.
That part we're gonna start doing. We gotta make sure that that's 12 right there.
Yeah, we did make sure it's 12 that way.
And then we gotta do.
All right, so as you could see there, we got all of our stakes and strings put in to kind of let us know exactly where the concrete pads are going to be going here. So everywhere there's a stake, you can kind of see we have it marked out. We have our first stake is at 8 feet. And that's going to be where the wall is, and then you can see the opening here is 4 feet, and that's going to be where our stall entrance is going to be. And then we go another 8 feet, and then a 4-foot stall door, 8 feet, and another stall door. Because what we're going to do is we're going to dig a hole into the ground there, and then we're going to put some, we'll put some gravel in there and kind of tamp it down. Make sure it's nice and level, and then we'll be able to put the concrete block on top of that and make it pretty much as close to flush with the ground as we can. The barn itself, the first level of the barn is going to be, we're going to have 10-foot ceilings, and that's so that we can, one, we'll have clearance space for bringing stuff in, or you know, if we have a vehicle in there, but 10 feet is nice and tall enough to where the animals will have plenty of room, especially when they get bigger, because none of our animals are going to be 10 feet tall. At least that's the idea.
What, no giraffes?
No giraffes.
No giraffes?
No.
How about camels?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, this gives us our basic layout of the stall, of the 3 stalls, and we kind of get a picture of how big the structure is going to be. All right, we got all our strings going across. Now we're just spray painting the location of where the center of the block is going to be. Basically, we have to center it on those lines.
Good afternoon, my friends. Well, the barn build is underway. We were gonna bring the camera out when we first started, but we ran into so many snags and I had to go to the hardware store so many times that it didn't make sense to actually record anything because, well, not a lot was happening very slowly. So, but we are making progress. So we thought we would bring you guys up here so you could see what we're doing. All right, these are our concrete footers, and basically we had to dig down, put some gravel at the bottom, and then screw, drill holes in there and screw, and we needed to get them all in a straight line, and there's 7 on each side. We're not done. We've got the first side all in alignment, but we're just starting to put some 4x4 posts in place. We have the second round that we need to put in and get them aligned, but we're gonna get, our neighbor's gonna come up. He was up here this morning. He's like, don't dig those holes, I want to dig them for you with my tools. So he's gonna bring his tractor up and dig them out. So right now, what was the issue is every time we would drill into the concrete, the screw right here would snap right there. And yeah, here's a snapped one. We were going through them, and if you guys know these Tapcon screws, they're not cheap, you know, so they kept snapping, and we found out that you actually have to have a Tapcon bit to be able to get in. So we're getting them in, and we got different screws and a better bit that's made for the screws, and now they're going in. But it took a very long time and a lot of bits and screws to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good thing, even though we didn't realize it at the time, because if we had been able to screw in the brackets, because we were setting these independent of this side, those ones on that side actually are slightly too far out and actually will have to be moved in slightly, so that the bracket would be in the center of the, at least approximately in the center, and not kind of off to one side. So now that we've got this first line set here, we actually can take our measurements from the brackets here, because our stalls are going to be 12 by 12. Now we can measure from the back of that bracket over here, and we can find out where our 12 feet is exactly going to be to the back of this bracket. So if you look, like for instance, you can see with this bracket has one screw temporarily in there because it has been, we have measured off of our kind of cornerstone bracket over there. We have measured exactly 12 feet to the back of this bracket, because our stalls are 12 by 12, and so the 2x6s that are going to go across here will line up with the very end of this, and then of course we'll have our 2x6s going this way to join them going down. But we know that that is 12 feet right there from our other bracket. Now, as you can see, that is clearly not in the center of our bracket, or of our concrete pad here. So this concrete pad here is actually, we're going to have to move it over probably about 3 inches, so that this bracket would now sit in the middle once we move it in. And then what we'll have to do is, once we have that one set, then we will start going up the line here, and we will start adjusting and moving the concrete pads accordingly. The ones that we've already set, I think, are going to have to come in about 3 inches to match the first one here. And then obviously those other ones there are going to be probably moved. When we set them, we'll be able to set them exactly where they need to be.
Doesn't this have to come in more?
Right.
Go. We'll have to adjust then. Not Oh, we are?
Okay. Go.
Hold.
Not anymore. So. Okay. Don't.
They're in. The first row. It just seems so massive. Putting in a few more screws just to anchor it in and wow, what a nice stick, Maddie.
Alright, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Straight up and down. Straight up and down.
Okay. Looks like Gloria wants to swing the axe a little bit. Look at that.
Yeah!
Okay.
So we finally got our blocks all set and in a line, and we're ready to set our 4x4 posts. I think they're 4x4 or 4x4 by 12s, 10s, I can't remember, but something like that. Anyway, good job, babe.
Yeah.
Definitely a learning curve for us.
Yeah, but I feel like we're getting more confident.
Well, this
We're
will
definitely getting more confident in our building skills and construction skills. Of course, it helps when you have a neighbor and have friends that pass on that knowledge, and so you're able to put that to good use.
Good afternoon, my friends. Well, it is the next day, so we are going to finish up what we started yesterday. So, well, actually, we didn't start it yesterday. We've got all of these posts, or these foundation bricks where we want them, except for that very last one. Edward wants to bring it down a little bit. So, and then the goal today is to put in the 4x4 posts that go along this line in and tie it in with these 4x4 posts. So we'll see how that all works out. So that's what we're gonna try to accomplish today.
Okay.
We're short. We are short one 4x4 by 12. So we obviously have to go get that. So, but that's okay. Look at that, my friends. Something's happening. Oh my word, look at that.